Hi guys, it's Bree from She Glows Retreats, where we explore radical health for head and heart. I have not posted a video in a while because, man, videos are hard for me sometimes, but I figured because I don't want to do it is probably why I should do it. So I'm making a video today. As promised, today I'm going to talk a bit about wealth. My husband and I had the opportunity to go to a conference that focused on health and wealth. And for those of you who read my blog last week, I spoke a lot about health. So today the focus is wealth. I think wealth is such an interesting topic, and it relates directly to mental, emotional, spiritual, and even physical health because it's the means by which we take care of ourselves. And it's more than that. Oftentimes we're paid for what value we're offering into the world. I haven't always had a really great relationship mentally with money. I was a teacher, so I did not make great money, and I worked my butt off. And so I had this kind of story in my head that you had to work incredibly hard, ridiculously hard, to make chump change, no money at all. And I sometimes felt like people who had lots of money were selfish, or they weren't providing for people, things like that. So I've kind of had to examine some of those beliefs over my lifetime, because the truth is I want to make money. I want to make an impact, and money is important. It provides opportunities for myself, for my family, and I want to help other people using money that I make. So this is why I think it's so critical to talk about money when considering health and wellness too. One of my favorite discussions at this conference was where are you with money as far as life stage? Some of us are toddlers with our money. We're used to people paying for us for different things. We're demanding with money. We expect other people to take care of us. If that's you, you're a toddler. Some of us are teenagers. We're kind of irresponsible with our money. We're making what we think in our mind is a lot of money, but we're not necessarily making responsible decisions with our money. Some of us are young adults. We're starting to kind of respect money. Maybe we've made some massive purchases in our life, but we aren't necessarily saving enough to sustain our behavior. And then some of us are in our prime. We're making tons of money, we're saving tons of money, we're investing money, and we're contributing. And this is one of my favorite distinctions, was talking about kind of where are you on the spectrum? Are you a toddler? Are you a teenager? Are you a young adult? Or are you in your prime? My husband and I discovered that I think we are young adults. We have come to respect money, but we would certainly like to be saving more. We'd like to be contributing to things that really matter to us. So we have some work to do. I think the message here is not to be embarrassed with where we are, but really to look at ourselves as objectively as possible and say, okay, if I'm a toddler and I want to move to, you have to move through each stage. If I want to move to being a young adult, what specifically has to happen? So I think getting really clear on our behaviors now and how that's creating the wealth that we do or do not have financially is an excellent exercise. A different discussion that I thought was very valuable came with regards to saving. Their suggestion was you think of your income, and many of us are saving for retirement, so that's already happening, but separate from retirement, you scrape a certain percentage off of the top of your income, as much as you possibly can. So maybe that's 5%, maybe that's 10%, 20, as high as you can, and you pour that extra savings into 3 separate buckets, and the buckets are security, risk, and dreams. So you have 3 separate buckets, and you come up with a percentage to put in each bucket. Now the dreams bucket you actually leave alone. You put money in there that comes from like possible inheritance, if that happens for you, or maybe you have an event where you sell a business, something like that. So big windfalls, money, that's your dream bucket. But then you have your security and your risk bucket, and in your security bucket, for Luke and I, we ended up saying 70%. 70% of that money we're scraping off the top, we want to put into our security bucket. We have a family, we're trying to save for college, things like that. So a large chunk is going to go into security for us. And risk, 30%. Risk is important to grow our portfolio, and we have invested in some businesses. That's important to us. And so, we still want to take risks, but we want to make sure that we have a comfortable security bucket. So I love this discussion. I think the exercise of going through with your partner and saying, okay, on top of retirement savings, what are we going to scrape? And I know it's hard. It's certainly feeling hard for us. We're having to make some shifts with what we spend money on just blindly to be able to do this savings. But how can we add every single month to our security bucket and our risk bucket? This is how wealth really grows. So thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm so glad to have you. I look forward to checking in with you next week.